We want to keep people in their apartments. They want to stay in their apartments. We have the same goal. From there, we can find solutions.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're really appreciative of this opportunity to speak in front of you. I'm here joined today with Howard Bookstaff, and my name is Sandy Hoy. I'm TAA's General Counsel. I deal with all of their legal affairs, and I'm also a part of the governmental relations team, and I serve in that capacity as well. And Howard has been consulting with TAA and advising HAA for some time now. Howard, I think you've been their general counsel for over 25 years now. Is that right?
Yes, I'm an old guy, over 25 years. And I want to thank TA for allowing me to participate in this. I guess I'm wearing a couple of hats. I'm general counsel, as Sandy said, to the Houston Apartment Association, work with TA on many, many things. I'm also the chairman of the Justice of the Peace Court section of the State Bar, and I'll be talking to you a little bit more about that later.
Yes, so today we're just going to give you a few basics about what TAA does, what we have to offer, how we've been responding to this most recent COVID-19 crisis, and some background of TAA, and hopefully point you out to some resources that will make your life and your jobs a little bit easier. So for the background about TAA, we've been bringing rental housing professionals together since 1963. And our mission is to provide exceptional advocacy, education, and communication for the Texas rental housing industry. We have about 12,000 members, and they own and manage about 2.3 million rental units in Texas. And if you look at 2.3 million rental units, we're talking about 4.6 million Texans that are housed in those units that are owned and managed by our member companies. We also have about 24 local affiliates across Texas, HAA, Houston Apartment Association being one of them. I think they're the biggest local affiliate in the nation, actually, when it comes to the apartment associations. It is a federation, so you join at the local level, and by virtue of your membership there, you become a member of TAA and of NAA. We work a lot on forms. One of the main things we do is put together and publish forms and leases and addenda. If we can move to the next slide. Leases and addenda that cover everything relating to the lease process. So we start with the application, and we have an application that's really for anyone who is bound to the lease financially or going to occupy the unit. And then we have specialized lease versions, one for apartments that's used widely across Texas. We also have a single family home lease, one for condos, and then also a student housing lease that we've actually completely redone and revamped, and we are set to release that later this summer at the beginning of this fall. So be on the lookout for that new document. We make changes to these lease documents and the forms every 2 years usually, and it's after the legislative session. We will go in and have a team of attorneys review the laws and speak to members and get any other suggestions from other stakeholders and see what is the best way to update our lease forms. And we publish those on that 2-year cycle. Relating to the Red Book, the TAA Red Book is a resource that we have. It is actually a book. It comes in hard copy and online, and it's a conglomeration of all rental housing laws and regulations, and it also has the lease forms and an entire tab of the click and lease system with all of the addenda and lease forms in it. JPs can receive complimentary access to the Red Book online, and you can also get a hard copy through your local association, through the local affiliate where your court is located. So I would highly encourage you to reach out to the local association in your area and get a hard copy of this Red Book. We have a ton of information in the Red Book and in Red Book Online. Again, it goes from the complete leasing cycle, every phase of it, beginning with the application to the lease, resident life issues. We have ending of the lease issues. We have an entire tab on evictions. And then we have another one that is a compilation of all the statutes and rules relating to the rental housing industry. The Red Book Online version has additional information like some videos and some articles that aren't able to be put in the Red Book just for length purposes. So I would also highly encourage you to reach out to communications@taa.org to request online access. And we continue to build on that throughout the year. And of course, through COVID-19 has been a perfect reason to get access to Red Book Online, as we're updating our resources and almost feels like daily updating that with new forms and new information and new education. Next slide. We're going to briefly discuss our general education program. In addition to the Red Book and the lease documents, we offer seminars, whether they be online, virtual like this one, or in person. We have full day long seminars that Howard and I go around the state and teach every 2 years based off of updates to the law and changes to the lease and in the Red Book. And we also offer short segments, 1 hour webinars on hot topics, legal issues, leasing issues, maintenance, operational issues, things like that. Regularly. So we're continuously putting education out to all, often different segments of Texas, but usually opened up to our entire membership. We also have professional designation programs. We do this in conjunction with our National Apartment Association. And we spend some time throughout the year pinpointing and recognizing those of our members and in the industry who exhibit professionalism and excellence in the industry. And we try to highlight those good guys in who we advocate for at the Capitol through various awards and things that we do. And all of this information you can see online. You just have to go to taa.org and you'll be able to see the various Red Book offerings and education offerings that we do have. Next, we're going to touch a few minutes on our response to COVID-19, the hot topic that everybody is discussing today. What we started with in March was education, and we, had education through articles and short Q&As and FAQs we've put together, and then of course virtual education offerings. We've touched on a variety of topics, the executive orders from the governor, how to deal with all of the overlapping state and local and federal laws as it relates to court operations and evictions and rental housing in general. We had one Howard and I did together on reopening and working through reopening measures and making sure that we're doing so in a safe, responsible manner. And the number one thing we've done from the get-go is understand that renters are going to be impacted, have been impacted, and will continue to be impacted financially and other ways by COVID-19. And so we've really encouraged our members to waive late fees and work out payment plans and take other action that would allow renters to stay in their homes. We take the eviction process very seriously, and that is usually the course of last resort. Nobody wants to go evict someone, but oftentimes that is the only way to get the property back. So while we have been encouraging members and been really pleased to see the level of activity of working with renters and working out payment plans. We've also been advocating and spending a lot of time with the court and the OCA and other stakeholders to try to maintain a consistent framework for eviction rules and the consistent approach to applying the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure. We have some links, and I think also at the end of this presentation, we actually have the forms of the payment plan agreement and the temporary waiver of late fees, so you can see them. You might see what they look like in your courts eventually. And note that they're also available in English and Spanish. So we have taken that time to make sure that our renter resources and our forms are made available in both languages that are predominantly used in Texas, so we can get the word out there even more. Howard, do you want to take it from here?
Sure. Thanks, Andy. Just a little bit more about COVID and how the industry is navigating its way through this. First of all, as we all know, these are unprecedented and challenging times for us all. I guess home is where you hang your hat, but the last 3 months, it's also where you put your briefcase, you put your exercise equipment, your exercise, you get takeout too, and you go to the movies at your home as well. So there's been an increased emphasis put on the apartment industry, increased burden on the apartment industry, and a heightened importance of maintaining apartment units. Through all the special laws that we've seen, the special rules, either from the Supreme Court, the CARES Act, some of the local jurisdictions, nothing has excused a resident's obligation to pay rent, which landlords need. We need rent to keep units that everybody's living in, because where is home? Home is apartments. So everybody's living in their apartment and spending a lot more time there. We need the rent to make sure that we can keep units in a livable condition. Rent goes towards paying for the maintenance, the exterminator, the plumber, essential vendor service providers. So we really need that. And we understand in the apartment industry, as Sandy's indicated, the TAA members have gone above and beyond to try to work things out, especially if somebody is hit with financial hardship because of COVID-19. We want to work things out. The payment plans, and Sandy shared with the payment plan arrangement, that agreement that is available to any TA members. They've waived late fees. They've deferred payments so that payments can be made at a later time in accordance with the schedule that's better for the resident financially. At the same time, we have been involved in rental assistance programs. A lot of the local associations, I'm from Houston. Houston has been heavily involved in the City of Houston rental assistance program. We've assisted and tried to promote other rental assistance programs around our area, and I know other locals, San Antonio, Dallas, and Austin have promoted whatever rental assistance program is available in those areas as well. So we've really tried to have a complete package of understanding where we are, working with residents, and encouraging programs of rental assistance. We really do appreciate, I want to give a shout out to all the JPs. We appreciate the diligence that our justices of the peace are showing in complying with the Supreme Court's order to resume evictions. With the CARES Act moratorium, we really need to move these cases, because at some point you're going to have you already have a huge backlog. You're going to have a bigger backlog when all the CARES Act properties can then file evictions. So we really appreciate the diligence in complying with the order. We understand in the apartment industry, this is a new normal. We have educated our members to be very patient, because while cases need to be moved, they need to be moved in a safe and responsible fashion. We tried to educate our members of what they can expect when they go to court. Will you have to wear a face mask? Is it going to be in person or virtual? If it's virtual, what technology? What do they have to know about? How is notice going to be given to the parties about the court date and so forth? And so we really have tried to educate our members on the court operations. And I would encourage you, if you have any questions or you have issues that have come up in your court that we might be able to help either by informing our members, educating our members, just answering questions you might have about our members, please feel free to reach out to TAA. You have Sandy and I and my contact information on the first page. Email, call, either way. We understand. That's the big we tell members to be patient because we do understand that it's going to be a long process, and we're probably not just talking about August and September. We're probably talking about into next year at some point. So by all means, reach out to us if you have any questions. Next slide. So TA has a set of rules, has Q&A regarding CARES Act, a form eviction petition with respect to the CARES statement that's required to be made. Once it goes past the Supreme Court, we then read the orders and try to educate our members on what they can expect. Next slide. Okay, now I get to do something very exciting for me, is to make a plug for the Justice of the Peace Court section. Again, I thank TA for allowing me to do this. Our section, the purpose of our section, our mission, we really have 4 goals. One is the further administration of justice in the justice courts, provide a forum for the exchange of information, provide information and educational opportunities between the judges and the lawyers that practice in their courts, develop, support, and promote legal and professional activities affecting justice of the peace courts in Texas. Recent educational presentations, we had a 2019 presentation about the legislation. Randy Sarasti with the Justice Court Training Center did that one. Use of receiverships in justice court jurisdictional increase. And I'm real excited because we have Thea Whalen with the Justice Court Training Center, and one of our JPs will present at our annual meeting, which is virtual, but it will be available on our website. Membership in our section is not just for lawyers. It is open to all justices of the peace in Texas, lawyer or not. Our website is justiceofthepeacecourtsection.com. Please check us out. And if you're not a member, please join. And if you have any questions about that, please reach out to me. Thanks, Sandy.
Yeah. Thank you, Howard. And where we want to leave you is just a thank you. And, from TA's perspective, we've been a long supporter of the JPCA. We've been a sponsor of this conference, not virtually, but in person for a long time. We appreciate this opportunity to speak in front of you today. We know there's going to be lots of opportunities to work together in the future, especially through session that we're all looking at, and we hope to work with the state bar section as well, Howard. And if you get ideas or you have issues or you see something where you think it might be helpful for TAA to know or get our perspective on, again, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email is very easy, sandy@taa.org, or you can reach out to the email address on the screen. And with that, we appreciate you, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just have 20 minutes to tell you my life story, and got to start with my first birthday, and I don't know how I'm going to get it all in 20 minutes, but I'm going to try. So I'll go ahead and start, and hopefully even more colleagues will join. But just to give you a 20-minute snapshot of what is possible with the virtual court. And I'm Ben Martin. I'm from Mentis Technology. I've been with them for 11 years, and it's my privilege to have been there when AI Smart Bench was given birth, and then most recently when AI Calendar was given birth. And we're really just starting to launch AI Calendar. We originally, AI Smart Bench was designed with the circuit courts in mind, and its sweet spot is high volume and high document intensive cases. We're in a couple of JPs in Texas, but it hasn't been the sweet spot just because there typically aren't a lot of documents that are being mined and managed, and that's kind of where SmartBench shines. But with AI Calendar now giving anywhere, anytime access by any device, and allowing some judge-centric controls on calendaring, it seems a great opportunity for me to get in front of you and give you just a little taste. Maybe if you thought there was some interest here, I'd love to follow up with you after the session. So connecting the court, Connected Court is more than just an online virtual court session. I'm going to mute everyone. If you do want to speak, just unmute yourself. But it's more than a Zoom session. It also, you need efficiencies managing and accessing the case calendar, accessing a high volume case docket, and spinning up orders and e-signing them. And this is, again, where we shine. I've been having conversations with judges, and I think COVID-19 has turned us all on our heads, and certainly what has been a disruptive force, but it's also been an enlightening force and showing the possibilities of the potential or silver linings in a virtual court, and giving access to justice for the underprivileged, underserved, and maybe more efficient ways of dealing with certain case types. So in order to stay connected, courts are realizing that they need an accurate, unified court calendar that they could get to from anywhere, and a way to collaborate on scheduling and managing the court docket. And this collaboration can take place with pro ses and attorneys, or certainly with the clerk's office, or whatever your processes are. A configurable application that is the unique preferences of each judge. This is a signature feature of everything that comes from Mentis, is that it's highly configurable and highly individualized, so that no judge will end up being imposed upon by another judge's preferences, that each of the judges can specify how they want cases docketed and managed and viewed from there. And a way to allow pro ses and attorneys to determine what hearings are available and to secure an approved appointment slot based on how you want to have them approved. They could be, maybe you have a open hearing that you're fine with them booking any time in that slot, and just auto approve, or maybe you want to preview any request that's coming. Courts are realizing that they need a virtual case docket that's connected to their CMS. So that's the beauty of SmartBench. We connect to any back system. So we're into Metadata and eDocs and iDocket and Tyler's Odyssey, and the list goes on. We're actually into 35 different case management systems. So we come in already pre-built to connect and link data that's in your back office system, and giving you quick access to related cases, instant determination of case status, case actions, and easy order generation. And we have bank level e-signing features baked into our product. So The four focus things that I want to point out as I'm going very quickly through some functionality, and it's more just to give you a taste and hopefully whet your appetite, or at least I'd love some feedback if this is even anything that could be of service to you. But we're all about ease of use and bringing everything together in one place. We're all about configurability. We're all about any device access, and then built-in efficiency. And I'll be able to point those out. So I'm going to jump over to Judge George Martin, who has a small claims docket. And what I'm looking at here is his agenda for today and the cases that he's looking at. And he has control over the columns that he wants displayed here in his calendar. And so he's asked for anyone that's booking a case to specify what the amount of the claim is, how long they think they need. In this instance, these are just some statuses you could have for people that are ready to present or ready to come before you. And then certainly you can order by first party and do all of the cases that have a first party attorney or a second party attorney, and have some notes that are here. This judge also has orders to be signed, kind of a local bench book, and some orders that have come through that are waiting to be reviewed and signed. If you were to look at this judge's calendar, you would see that kind of has a, let's see, I most recently was there. But here I am in on June 24th. I've got 5 cases of 8 possible. So in making hearings available for being able to book, once this caps out at 8, it would no longer appear as available, and that'll become meaningful here in a minute. And I can double click on this case. You can see this is actually a virtual session. It comes with a link here. And then these are the cases that have been booked, and the court can certainly add notes from here. I can check into kind of the details of the small claim and go straight into the case if I want to. It's going to ask if I want to launch Zoom before I bring up my case. I'm just going to say no, and I'm going to come back in a minute to that case view, but I just wanted to show from here I could see the information. I could make a note here and be ready to roll, or if somebody's supporting me, they could make a note so that when I'm looking at it, you can see that I have a Rotary meeting, or George does, on Thursday, and this can be tagged as hide so that this is not made visible. So it's possible that if in your calendar you have things that need to go through the clerk's office and needs to come by way of the clerk's office, totally fine, and you can hide those from being visible to pro se's or attorneys for making available, or expose them however you want. Maybe while I'm here, I will take you into a case just to show you that when I go into a case, I have all the information that I might need. Here's all the documents that are associated with this case. I can just narrow down to all the affidavits or the motions, or maybe the register of actions or the docket notes or whatever, any motions that are associated here, and then be able to bring those documents into view very quickly. So if I wanted to look at the affidavit of cost here, or the prejudgment, interest, any of this information, and also keep comments and have related cases that maybe this was associated with another case that was being presented. And this is all through the lens of AI Smart Bench. But if we wanted to check out how it might appear to a pro se or an attorney, I'm going to go out to my phone and show you that an attorney can come into this. This is a circuit court that I've got set up, so it's not exactly a JP court, but you can have skin it however you want. It could be like your website. And here I'm going to find George Martin is up first. When I click on touch George Martin, his information comes up. I get how to call him, where his email is, and these all have hotspots in them. So can auto email, auto dial, auto get map, and this is a place to communicate some calendaring rules and biography. From here, an attorney can say, I want to, or an R pro se, is I want to see what available hearings are. And Judge Martin does not want anybody scheduling things over the next 2 weeks, but anything from 2 weeks from today forward is just fine. So by clicking the arrow, I come to the first available hearing, and I can see that there are 3 cases for this day. I have a share button where I can go into my Gmail and send an email to a counterpart or to the opposing, if it's opposing counsel or opposing person on the case, and send them a message. I'm sorry, and then I can go back here to my phone. Or when I'm ready to request a hearing, I can review the judge's requirements here, everything that before I can actually book something, I need to have followed all the judge's procedures. And then when I'm ready, I can go by entering my my number. So let's see. I'm just going to go with this. I've read the rules. I'm going to guess that it's going to be 10 minutes. My hearing is for $3,500. I've already done my complaint letter. The defendant's been served. I don't qualify for a waiver, and we waived mediation, and now I'm going to schedule this for July 8th. When I press schedule case, if I go into my email, I'm going to get a confirmation email saying that this was confirmed. You don't have to do it that way, but that's at least how we set this one up, is to auto confirm. And then when I go back to SmartBench and share my screen there, we go to our calendar, and I go to July 8th, I'm going to see that I've added that particular case, and I can add a note here as the court note. And of course, a note would have come across from an email would have come across notifying me or whoever I want to direct could go to the clerk that this case was booked for July 8th. One thing I didn't show you was once you are into a particular case and you are ready to do a ruling, this comes in with built-in templates. And so I can load in a template here of, this isn't the one I was wanting to load. Where is the one I want? Maybe that's, well, we'll just do this one. So this will just load in. I can click on the different boxes here on the right or on the left, and it'll plug in date and time, and then it will bake the order, and I am able to, from here, sign it. I could also bring it into Word or into edit a PDF that had come from there. There's my beautiful George Martin signature, and my signature is now on my order. So what I didn't show you from the attorney's point of view is I go back to sharing, and this could also be the judge's view if you wanted to bring in, if you wanted to go in and see what your docket was for today. So we could view today's docket and see how many cases there are. I can go in and view how many cases there are and any notes and what is there. You have control on what is being shown to you. So you can see that these have been there, but you can look at your case list, and then notice that this says virtual courtroom. So when I click on virtual courtroom, it's going to take me into the Zoom link that's associated with this hearing, or if you have an individual Zoom link associated with a case, and I can join, and then it will take me into the case right there from my phone. So again, if you can imagine that your defendants are at home and they can actually access the case and bring it and enter the Zoom meeting with you just right from their phone and be able to conduct their business or their questions here. So I think I'm nearing my 20-minute mode, but I guess I just wanted to get in front of you the possibilities that there is something that can bring all of the technologies together. The Zoom that's going to get you into a virtual courtroom, and then your virtual docket is right at your fingertips here. So I bring up my docket immediately, get all the information that I might need. It might have some details. I can actually send an email to the lawyer here straight from the case summary. I can be keeping notes, like I have the defendant was quite belligerent. I have a case folder where I could keep exhibits or transcripts that aren't part of the official record yet, are my notes that are kept in Word. But so everything that I need to know about my case is at my fingertips. I have a way to spin up orders as well as to get to orders. So I don't have any orders waiting to be signed, and to get to my bench book. I also can specify what I want attorneys to provide me so that I can, at a glance, look at my calendar and see what is the pertinent data, such as the amount of the claim or whatever. And when I'm ready to go into my next case, I just after I've heard this one, I just bring up the next one, and I bring up the next one, and it's very quick and very easy to bring into view the documents that you might be wanting. Let's see. I'm thinking that I forgot to share. I hate myself. So I just did a whole tour that you didn't get to see. So just real quickly, I was still focused on my phone. But anyway, here I am going from one case to the next, and in terms of a high volume, if you were doing traffic and you had 100 traffic tickets or whatever that were in front of you, you could just very quickly go through those. Everything's at your fingertips and ready and waiting for you. Maybe I'll stop and bring it back. I can, let's see, unmute anyone that I have control over. Are there any questions, any feedback, or any comments or thoughts? Relevant, not relevant, interesting?
It's very interesting. It looks like it would work very well with having all the
Great.
documents there at your fingertips.
Right. And obviously those typically come through the clerk's office, I assume, and we pull those in and run a process so you could even do a full text search over documents if you're trying to find a particular item within a document, not just bring up the document, but to go to a point within the document.
Okay.
Any other questions or anything? I always take silence as a standing ovation, so that's how I'm reading it right now. So thank you for that standing ovation. But I also thank you for the time, and I hope this was instructive and a little exploratory for me to see if this could be of help to you and to your court. So I'd love to get any feedback. I think my contact information is on the website, and I have it's Ben Martin at mentistechnology.com if you have more questions or follow on or anything of interest. So, all right. Well, I shall end our session sadly because I want to keep to the 20-minute mark. But thanks again, and I hope you have a great virtual conference. I hope it's getting you what you need to know, and it's hard not to be able to see each other. All right, thank you. All right, bye everybody.
Goodbye.